I love the Million of Dead Posers fucking meme format. Like
it's an excellent page and an excellent thing that other people have done as well.
Yeah, it's so good. Because, like, none of them, like, actually make sense, but all of them are so true you can't deny it.
I think that's the thing. They dip far enough into like being nonsensical that you can't like say that they're wrong. You can just kind of attach whatever feelings you have onto them. You're just like, yeah, that makes sense.
My favorite thing is back when I was on Facebook, I would like religiously share every single one of those that I recognized any of the 3 words. The X, the Y,
I
the
would
Z.
share a lot of them.
And like this guy, Nathan, I think his name is. It's probably not, but he was like a mutual acquaintance I knew at like punk shows and stuff. He would always get on and be so hurt. He's like, "Law Dispute is good. What do you mean Law Dispute is just math for people who like bullshit?" I don't know.
It doesn't mean anything.
100%.
Welcome to the RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Elias, Sailor Eli Warren.
I am Sam Allman.
And I'm Maddie Webben.
And today we'll be playing Part 7 of Final Fantasy X, stopping after the fight with Unalesca.
As a reminder, if you have not yet voted in the finals for Best of the Rest, those are going on right now between our truest son, Dragon Quest V, and my truest son, Shining Force. Shining Force.
Round.
Shining Force came back from behind and beat Okage, even though it had lost to Okage in round 1. It was a big upset.
From behind.
It was dope. But yeah, so there are about 6 days as of recording. By the time this goes up, it'll probably be 3 days. But most people have voted. If you want to get some votes, you can either vote on the Patreon. If you're already a patron, you can add $1 and then cancel it immediately on the Patreon, because I'll be shutting the Patreon down for good in a week and a half. But or you can go and donate on Ko-Fi, and I'll send you a link to, or just ask you what your vote is, and I'll tally it up in a Excel sheet or something. But it's super close. Literally every person that votes opposite of the person before. So like it started Shining Force and then Dragon Quest and then Shining Force and then Dragon Quest, and so it's like gone back and forth each time, and it's dope. So
in the next episode, one of these games will die.
Yes.
We're actually going to toss it off a cliff.
Yeah.
I have a question. How did Okage beat Shining Force, but then there was another vote where Shining Force beat Okage?
So it was a double elimination bracket, and probably Matt flipped his vote because he said he likes both of them.
Oh, okay. Our listeners are just... they're
fickle beasts.
Yeah, they are. They're very fickle.
Speaking of which, so Andrew, he changes his screen name to something super long every single time, so he's Andrew. He's like, he joined the podcast. I don't even know if he listens to us really, but he joined the Patreon because he saw on Twitter that it was up against Shining Force, and he loves Shining Force, and so he's been like always voting Shining Force every single time in this bracket. We get to this one, and he voted for Dragon Quest. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know anything anymore.
I don't. What is life?
Yeah.
What is anything?
If you want to confuse us, you can support us and then vote on this.
Also, FYI, I am astronomically excited about either of these games.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest is amazing because it's one of my all-time favorite games. It's a goddamn bona fide masterpiece of a video game. It also we need to play a freaking Dragon Quest on this game. That way, y'all and the readers, as I always joke, if you haven't played a Dragon Quest game, you're unqualified to have an opinion about Japanese role-playing games.
We can finally start the podcast a year and a half in.
On the other hand, Shining Force, Sega representation. I love Sega. We haven't played a Sega game. Second of all, none of us have played it.
Oh, I've played Shining Force. It's one of my top 2 favorite games of all time. It's like Legend of Dragoon, then Shining Force.
never mind then. I thought we were finally going to play a game that none of us had played again. So we don't have that. So that's not a plus.
No.
On the other hand, Sam says it's a really great game, and I'm sure that it is. I don't know how the soundtrack is. I haven't listened to it.
It's pretty good. I don't remember any specific tracks. I just remember not wanting to mute it, which is a good. It's pretty good. That goes pretty far on the Sega Genesis. But
that's fighting words.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So you can vote. However, Dragon Quest would be great, but Shining Force is also going to be great.
I like how even though this was best of the rest, it kind of has like a console wars theme now too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's SNES versus Genesis.
Yeah. So
that's cute.
Vote with your 90s nostalgia. But before we get to our meat of the episode today, which is a very meaty episode today, how was everybody's week?
I'm gonna sneeze.
Okay.
Do it. I believe in you.
I can't now. I can't now
While
because
you're
I
working that up.
acknowledged it.
While we're working that up, I'll explain my week. Not a lot has happened. It's been nice. I mostly was just really hyped last couple of days because they added Joker to Smash.
Yep.
He's great. He fucking owns.
Yeah.
I can't really tell. I'm sure the pros will have their own opinions on this, but he seems like he's pretty high tier. He's fast as hell. He hits pretty good. The only real balance is that his gimmick is kind of hard to use. His gimmick fills up a meter and then triggers like a bonus power mode.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't choose when to trigger it. The second your meter fills, he goes into overpowered mode and then the meter drains. So the fact that you don't get to really control when it happens, I think is a big balancer. Mm-hmm. He's great. They also added a stage builder, and last night I spent a decent amount of time. I've already made a stage. Sam, did you see what it was?
No.
I made literally the first thing I did was I made a stage that was lost.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Turns out I was only the 7th person to do it. I gotta say though, of all the other stages that are also lost, mine might be the best one.
Nice.
If I'm not tooting my horn, it also might be the second best one. Mine has either the best or the second best music choice. I went with Wii Shop channel theme because it's a stupid meme music. Although someone else went with Gamer as the theme, which is really good.
That's good.
There was one other one that is a lot better than mine aesthetically, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and vote myself second best.
Nice.
Lost.jpg Super Smash Brothers level.
I love it. The one thing that I saw... you go
One
thing I saw about Joker that made me excited is if you win as Joker, his pose isn't a pose. It's the end of battle where he like waves to Morgana and he runs in the screen and then the results pop up.
Yeah, they totally did the entire win screen from Persona 5, which is wild.
And then if you win with his final smash, it does the all-out attack end of battle thing where like you see the
win, yeah.
You see the shadows go down with blood spurting out, and then he pops down and pulls his glove, and then then it's there, and it's
so cool that the
so
game's
good.
Engine or the game's like architecture loop is apparently such that they can do that.
Yeah,
like they were just able to be like that's not a thing. No other character does that.
Yeah,
no other character like they're able to be like, oh, final smash will immediately smash cut to end of battle.
Yeah,
that's the thing that we can program in.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's cool as shit. But yeah,
I'll have to bust it open again.
Yeah,
I haven't played Smash in a while.
Also, his stage is fantastic.
Yeah,
is
I need to get Smash.
Is he paid DLC or is he free?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's it's like $6 or something. It's the character, the stage, 11 tracks of music, 3 of which are remixes. All of the remixes are great. There's also like most games nowadays, there's like a season pass. It's like $25 for all 5 of the characters that are going to be put in.
Do we know what others are going to be in there?
They haven't announced it. It's Erdrick.
Yeah.
It's going to be Erdrick.
A lot of people say it's going to be Erdrick from Dragon Quest. But
I'm still holding out for Dixie Kong. I mean, she deserves it.
Not.
It's been...
They better not.
Wow. Jerk.
I wouldn't mind if Dixie Kong was one of them, but I want seeing how much they went overboard with Joker makes me really want Erdrick to be the next one, because all the freaking music he got, the stage, all the costumes and extra shit that he has. Like, besides just Joker's costume, there are Mii costumes for both Makoto from 3, what's his face hero from 4, like a lot of shit for like everything. The whole game is a Persona game now. Like, there's enough to just call it Persona 5. It's legit.
But I don't want Smash to be Persona.
I just don't want him to do a character from a game that's already got 3 characters in the game.
I guess that's fair.
Valid.
I don't know. I've always thought she should be in the game.
Yeah.
They should. How about this? They add Dixie Kong and remove Diddy Kong.
I would be totally fine with that.
or you could just make them shadow fighters, because Diddy has jetpacks and Dixie has her helicopter stuff.
I hate Diddy Kong. He's Bernie Bro to me.
I mean, I can only play one character, and that's Lucario. I'm not good with any other Smash Brothers character, so it's not like I would play them.
One does not simply be good with a Smash character.
Yeah, I am bad at every Smash game, so I still haven't gotten this one.
Every character's my main, which means I'm equally bad at all of them.
I know I mentioned last week that I was working on my text mud, and got like a server working for it, local server. Well, I posted on Twitter about it, and one of our lovely fans, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this, Chasen.
I always say Chasen.
Chasen, yeah, like Jason with a CH. That's how I've been pronouncing it. Offered to help me out with it because they used to do mud coding, and also I don't know their pronouns, and I should have asked when they asked what my pronouns were, and I feel like a jerk now. But Chasen used to do mud coding and expressed interest in helping me out because I am a super novice when it comes to Python. I know a little bit. I know how to, like, I can go in and replace things and kind of poke around and figure out what stuff does, sort of, but I'm not really that adept at it. But they got a working calendar system, and they're working on a weather system, and I'm just super, super excited about this because it's something that I've really wanted to do for a long time, and just makes me feel happy that there are people out there who really are interested and want to help me out.
That really rules.
Yeah.
I feel like the more niche a community is, and the more like no one, and when I say no one cares, I mean like the general popular culture.
Yeah.
The more a hobby or thing is generally like no one gives a shit about it, I feel like the more the people in that community are willing to like be awesome like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it's like no one's in it for the money because there's no money to be made.
Yeah, exactly.
I know there is in theory, but yeah, no one's like in it for the platform or the fame, because that's not gonna happen.
Right. This is
so like everyone's just chill and good and not poisoned by like the need for success or whatever.
Exactly. And I get to be creative, and like my friends are giving me recommendations. I have one friend who's really into the world building that I've done, and she has been giving me suggestions for like various areas in the game and character things, and it's super great. It makes me feel really good. And then the other thing is, last night I posted our Discord link for the RPG Book Club into my guild's Discord, and I had no idea that they would flood our podcast Discord.
All of them.
Yeah, like about half of them joined, but I was very, very happy about that, and it made me feel really good. So shout outs to everyone in the Redeemed on Sargeras US on World of Warcraft. You all are awesome, and thank you for supporting me in the thing that I do.
Yeah, like 8,000 of you showed up yesterday.
It was great.
I owe a life debt to all of them. Why? Because they joined our Discord.
Yes.
It's all you need to earn my undying love. Is join the Discord. Don't even listen to the podcast. Although if you do that, then you'll have even more than my undying love. You'll have my undying respect.
Yes.
Yeah. But my week was pretty cool. I have been editing this thing called the JRPG Canon video, and I'm actually doing it this time, and not just downloading fan translations like last week. But it's coming together nicely. I have a lot left to do on it, but it's really cool, and there's a lot of stupid jokes in it, and I feel it's going to be my best one yet, which is good because there's only 2. So I'm excited for that.
Good job.
Yeah. But let's do this thing, as they say.
All right, let's get going.
Okay.
So, when we last left our heroes, Captain Kirk was climbing a mountain. Why was he climbing the mountain?
Because he's in love.
He wants to make love to the mountain.
To the mountain. To caress the mountain. Anyway, so you're going up the mountain to get to
envelop that mountain.
Envelop, that's the word I was trying to think. Envelop the mountain. You're at the top of the mountain. We fought Seymour for like the 20th time. We go into a mountain cave, and right off the bat, some things start to happen.
Yeah.
Literally, 5 seconds later. It's funny. Last time I was like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be a big twist next week." I didn't realize it was going to be 1 minute after the end of last week's play. So there's a big old FMV. You're in this huge cave where everything is glowing. It looks like you're in the damn Northern Crater from FF7. There's a shit ton of corpses everywhere. There's all these bodies that are frozen and suspended in the air with energy. Turns out all of these people are Faith, which, if you recall, are the not allowed to die people whose corpses are trapped, whose souls are trapped, and who are used to summon those summon monsters that we've been making so much use of this game. All of these Faith together are being used for some giant summon. Riku wonders what could be being summoned with all that energy, and by whom. Aaron is like, don't ask me that. Figure things out for yourself. It's your journey too. Goku says something weird here. He goes, "This is our," and then he stops and he says, "This is my story," which is interesting that he knows this is about him. He's right, as we'll find out in 2 minutes. It's interesting that he knows that. Maybe he just has a feeling. I don't know. He reaches out and touches the Faith, and then everything goes white. Goku wakes up back in Zanarkand. From the beginning, the place looks like graphics. It's nighttime, and no one else is around. He enters the boat's cabin, and inside is his home, but he doesn't remember that it's his home. I don't know why. Dreams are weird, man.
Yeah.
That freaking kid is there. The kid's like, "Yeah, we met in Bevel, but this wasn't the first time we met. I've known you for a long time." Goku vaguely sees/hears his friend saying, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." So he realizes, this is a dream. I don't have time to be dreaming right now. And the kid's like, "You're not dreaming. You are a dream." And the kid runs off. And Goku's just like, "Okay."
What?
So you go out of the room, and you chase the kid. And you ask him, "What the hell did you mean by that?" And he explains the big lore dump. Okay, so, long ago, there was a war between Bevel and Zanarkand, as has been vaguely alluded to. Bevel's Machina were way more amazing and way more powerful, and they were going to wipe out Zanarkand. Apparently, Zanarkand is where summoners are from, so, they had religion and summoning.
Pause right there, already. Huge reveal. Bevel, don't use Machina. Machina is bad, but we're still using it. Zanarkand used Machina. That's why they're dying. Zanarkand was a magic city, not a Machina city. Bevel was the Machina city.
Yeah.
They were the aggressors. That shit was cool. I flipped my shit.
I do think it was mentioned earlier that Zanarkand also had Machina. Earlier, they said that there was a big battle with both, but Zanarkand had magic and summoning even before the now times, which is a big twist for me. So the summoners of Zanarkand wanted to save the city. But they couldn't. They were all going to die. but they wanted to save their city that is so beautiful because of all those nice coffee shops. So it's like Austin, right?
Yeah.
So all of the survivors, all the ones who didn't all die, they all became Faith for the ultimate summoning. They summoned a dream of the entire city, which lived on forever in a dream bubble, because this is Homestuck. This is where Goku is from. He and everyone else in Zanarkand are just imaginary beings created in the minds of the Faith. So he's a fake dude. That's the twist. He's a fake dude.
Yeah.
And what I get from this is that what I get from this is maybe the opening cutscene wasn't even like, I don't think that's even actually what happened 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think what actually happened was Sin showed up during a blitzball game and killed everyone. That was Sin intruding on the dream bubble.
Yeah.
So what actually happened 1,000 years ago, we don't know.
Yeah, it was some big war, is all we know.
Which means we also don't know where Sin came from, actually.
Yeah.
Which means Aron's line of, and this is something I hadn't thought about until this playthrough, Aron's line of, we called it Sin, he just means we, in Spira from the future, call this thing Sin.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't mean, I'm some scientist who created this monster.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't, which is cool, because that like throws a wrench in our whole Sin backstory. We don't even know that Sin is a biological terror weapon created by anybody. We don't even know that.
Yeah,
so,
and like even what we learn here at the end of it on like all of the all the fakeness attributes of everything is like it doesn't even tell us. So like we're old school Zanarkand and old school Bavel like taunted by Sin, but the summoners, like a whole like world of summoners in Zanarkand enough to like keep it at bay, and then enough of the Machina and Bavel were enough to keep it away, like kind of is happening now. It's like, were they able to just deal with Sin and thrive, but then they hated each other, so they blew each other up and ruined it for everybody? Like, was Sin literally always there, or what? Like, it doesn't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
And that's something the game, I think, does not address at all, which is that the information that we intuited from the beginning of the game, all of that is unreliable. In fact, Dream Zanarkand maybe wasn't even the same as real Zanarkand.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't know that that's what real Zanarkand was like. Maybe it's an idealized version of it.
Yeah. Like, it's legit. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Tidus is a fake dude. That's what's really happening. You didn't go 1,000 years into the future. You just exited the dream bubble and went out into the real world, and so did your old man.
And that's how Orin came back, because he just walked through the door into the dream bubble and was just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, he's like, hey, what's up? The kid says, if the Faith stop dreaming, ... and Goku understands what he means. He means, I'm going to disappear. Goku says, but I like being here, parentheses, in Spira. The kid says, we've all been dreaming so long, we're very tired, you and your father have been touched by Sin, you're more than just dreams. Maybe you are the dream that will end our dreaming at last. You are like the dreamer who lives within the dream. But who's the dreamer?
Yeah.
Is the real question. It's a Twin Peaks reference, Sam.
I figured.
Monica
Thank you
Bellucci.
for making a reference that I understood.
Goku wakes up and he's like, I had a Monica Bellucci dream again. And then, anyway, they wake up and they're like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Nothing like a good nap. Well, let's go.
Right? Instead of, like, he doesn't even, like, pull Riku aside and is like, hey, I totally have an idea. Like, we have a trump card now. Like, I'm something special. Maybe we can leverage this. Like, no, he's just like, let's go.
Yep. Something I like here that I didn't realize till later is that now we've got an inversion of the whole thing where everyone knew Yuna was going to die but didn't tell Tidus.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, now y'all don't know that I'm going to die. See how you like it. So you go through the cave. Auron says, quote-unquote, she has sent fiends to test our strength. She is Lady Yunalesca, the first ever summoner who lives in Zanarkand. Sure enough, yep, here's a boss. You do a boss. Y'all didn't find it hard, apparently. I died once, so I don't know.
Well, okay. So I fibbed a little bit because I went and started the fight, didn't fully understand what the guide meant by keep everyone separate. I thought because they were on separate platforms.
No. Oh, there's a boss before that you just like me didn't remember until Maddie was like, "Oh no, it's so hard," and I died. There's a big
dragon on the mountain.
The big ass dragon on the mountain.
Oh,
yeah. I just punched it and it died, and Maddie had a lot of trouble with it.
I don't remember why I had trouble. Second time through, I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because he was just hitting me because my party's stupid. He was just hitting me a little bit too hard, so I kept having to stop and heal, and that's a problem because he has Kiraga.
Yeah.
So every time I would stop and heal, he would heal himself, so I realized I've been fighting for a few minutes, and he was now back at full health. Second time through, I put Reflect on him, and then it was easy.
Yeah.
Every time he tried to heal himself, it didn't work, because he had Reflect. So there you go.
But,
gotcha.
Yeah. It was just some big dragon shows up, and me and Eli are just like, yawn, and then Maddie cries a bit, but it's okay. It's finally backwards, because, like, Rogue Galaxy and Sailor Moon and a lot of these games will get to something where, like, yeah, we didn't do a lot this week, and Eli's like, no, this was the hardest fucking fight of my life, and now it's backwards, where me and Eli are like, nah, it's nothing, and Maddie was the one that had trouble.
I think with these games, like, so much of the difficulty, like, obviously has to do with how much you level up and stuff, but that's not all there is. Like, sometimes you just randomly either you like click, like a battle clicks with your playstyle, or maybe you just fumble through like an idiot and somehow it just works because like maybe we're all fumbling through like idiots, but the way that I fumble through like an idiot just happens to work, and the way that Sam fumbles through like an idiot just happens to not work.
Yeah.
You know, or vice versa, right? Depending on the battle.
I can guarantee that all of my game playing is fumbling through like an idiot, so...
Yeah.
That reminds me...
Like, it seems completely arbitrary which bosses are hard for who, and I think it just has to do with our differing play styles.
That reminds me of when I was little, I was playing Wild Arms 2, and there's this cave, I can't remember when in the thing it happens. It's before Disc 2. I only know that because I didn't get to play Disc 2 because my brothers beat the game for me, because brothers are the worst. Don't ever have brothers. Yeah. But, so it was...
That's why I stopped being one.
But, there was this long cave, and it's, like, pretty hard. And so there were a bunch of different guides on, like, how to get through the cave. And all of them were like, yeah, use Ashley to do this, and then use... can't remember her name now to do this, and use Brad to do that, and everything will be fine. And I was like, that's not at all how I did it. I just had a level 30, 10 levels more than I needed to Brad, and everyone was dead, but Brad had this one move that worked for me, and I made it through. And I typed up this guide like I was sharing knowledge. I'm like, look guys, y'all are doing it the hard way. Just use an overpowered Brad, and
just be 10 levels higher.
And have one person
like
have
that meme,
all of the XP.
It's like that meme. It's like, if I was having trouble in this game, I would simply gain 10 levels.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I was so proud of myself for that.
You figured out the secret.
Yeah.
So anyway, after the battle, Riku wants to stop and rest. Yuna knows that Riku just wants to delay the inevitable. So they all have some feelings. Auron says Tidus reminds him of himself. Auron says on his pilgrimage with Braska, which we haven't really addressed this. Y'all have seen a few scenes of little baby Auron and Braska and Jecht. I've seen a lot more because I went and got all the Jecht spheres. I was going to bring those up at some point, maybe next week. I don't know. But we haven't told the people that what's funny is that Auron's a total dork in the past.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a cool, badass Malik type. He's like, I believe in Jesus, and I'm gonna follow the rules. Like, I really like him, and his voice acting is way different, obviously. Yeah. Because now he's like 30, which means he's an old man in JRPG years. Whereas before he was 20, which means he's middle-aged in JRPG years. So anyway, he says that when he was on the pilgrimage, the whole time his mind was totally made up. But then when he got to this point, even his resolve wavered. And then he shares a good line that I will mention here. He says, I wanted to change the world, but I changed nothing. That is my story. Which reminds me of when adults in this day and age are like, oh, you young people, are trying to make things better. So naive. You idiots. You utter fools. Why would you try to make things better when you can just let things be bad, like me, a jaded old person? Just vote Republican and stop trying to make things better, because you're an idiot. Anyway, here we go. We in Zanarkand, boys.
Yep.
Goku finally sees it with his own eyes. He says some very poetic words that I'll be saying again later in my memorable moment, so I won't say them now. Once again, Riku says, let's stop and think about this some more. Yuna says she's known all of her life that this moment would come. They have a really, really sweet hug. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. And then she leaves. They leave, and Yuna drops a sphere. Even though it's very conspicuous, apparently no one notices this except for Goku.
Well, because no one else is watching the camera. Everyone else is just watching Yuna. We were watching the camera. The camera zooms in on this giant sphere tumbling out of her pocket.
Yeah, it's like the fucking holy material from Episode 7. It's like clink. Goku grabs this because he has no respect for privacy. So he grabs the sphere that falls out of her folds of her kimono, and oh fuck, it's a farewell message from Yuna. This is a really, really sweet scene. It seems like my recording of it is very long, but actually it's highly truncated. So I'm gonna blast through what she says. She says goodbye to each person. What's cool is that turns out she recorded this like right after we fought the Chocobo Eater.
Yeah, it was at that sunset
this.
When they were all hanging out. Is like when you can see it. It's dope.
Yeah. So she recorded this a long time ago, and while we're watching this scene with her talking, it's a flashback to that day, and it's literally just like a shot of all the characters hanging out, like Waka and Lulu are talking, Arin's walking, and then Yuna's off in the distance, being by herself. Turns out she was recording this sphere. So she says Arin, who, if you recall, she had just met like the previous day. Arin, I've always wanted to meet you. I'm glad we finally met. Defeating Sin is my way of thanking you. Thank you. If you're watching this, then Sin's already gone, and so am I. Thank you for everything. That's it for Arin. Kamari. She shares a lot of plot about Kamari.
Yeah, like most of Kamari's plot was these last 2 weeks.
Turns out the first day that they met, Yuna was 7. She also shares a lot about herself here, too. Braska had just defeated Sin, and everyone was telling her that her dad was a great hero. And she was very, very happy. That evening, she finally realizes that her dad is dead, and she's alone. She wanders the town alone, and then Kamari finds her and says he's looking for the daughter of Braska. He says that a dying man told him to take her far away from Bavel. And she cries because she realizes here that her father really is dead, and he's never coming back. Then Kamari delivered her to Besaid, and I guess he was just hired to deliver her, but she cried and begged him not to go, so he stayed. And she thanks him for staying, thanks him for always being there for her, thanks him for everything, and also says, I like your broken horn.
Yes.
Waka. She says, Waka and Lulu. She says that growing up with the two of them in Chapu gave her a very happy childhood. And when they all tried really hard to stop her from becoming a summoner, even though she didn't stop, it made her really happy that they cared about her so much and didn't want her to do it. She likes it when Lulu scolds her, same, and she likes it when Waka plays blitzball.
Same.
And then all
I dislike that because it means I have to do things.
And then all that's left is Goku. This is really cool. She basically is like struggling with not confessing her love, even though again they hadn't met that long ago, which is cool. It was relatively early in the journey. She says, actually, I think I recorded this word for word. I'll do it quickly. So imagine I'm doing this slower and with more emotions.
Yeah.
She says, "You are ... I am ... I'm glad that we met. We haven't even known each other that long, but it's funny. So ... This is what it feels like. It's a much more wonderful feeling than anything I could have imagined, but it hurts sometimes. I wonder ... I just want to say thank you for everything. Maybe that's why it hurts. When I think about us never being together again at all, I'm afraid." Then she says, "No, I shouldn't say that. I'll do that part over." And you see in the flashback that that's the exact moment where Goku, being controlled by the player, runs up to her and is like, "Hey, what you doing?"
Yeah.
So what's cool is that she was gonna delete that, but she didn't because you interrupted her.
Yeah, I love it so much because it makes Yuna it makes their relationship so canon. Like, I know that Tumblr will still somehow say that Yuna and Oren have a thing somehow, but but it makes their relationship so canon because, like, way back then she was like, "Oh, I love you so much, and there's no way that A, you'll ever love me back, B, that I could even tell you before this whole thing." And so it's like she didn't even imagine that Romance Lake was even in the cards, much less an inevitability. And so it's just this really, really sweet, like she has loved him this whole time, and it's good. Just love, man.
And then he's like, "Joke's on you. I listened to this without your consent, and now I know everything."
It's one of those straight relationships that I can really get behind.
Right?
One of the few.
Yes.
That one, Sam and Summer.
My parents, I guess.
I guess mine too, if I have to. Then again, that caused me to exist, which, like,
that's why.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. That's why, I guess.
I guess I should be thankful. Anyway, then you, there's not even any commentary on that. He finishes listening and then just, you resume play. What is there to say, really?
There's a couple of things where I wonder if, like, Tidus as a Tidus is doing the thing, or if Tidus as a player avatar is doing the thing. And so if Tidus didn't really listen to it and do it, but we needed to know what was on the sphere type thing. Because, like, he doesn't ever comment on it or bring it up, or unless he does later.
No, he holds it up to his ear like a damn seashell.
Yeah, but like, is that Tidus doing it, or is that us doing it type thing? Like, it's kind of like a gray area game-wise, because he doesn't ever bring it up, because, like...
I think it's just more like there's nothing to say and there's no other characters around, so he's just like, I guess I'm sad now.
I will also say, like, this was the point in the game where I was like, I really wish that they had not let us name the player character and had just given him his canonical name. Yeah. Because it would have made more sense for Yuna to say Tidus than to say our newest... member or whatever she said.
They did pretty good by making it so long ago. Like, if she had recorded this the night before, she would be saying Tidus. But this one being like a week after they started, and the Choka Chupa Chapa Koopa Dapa was like the day after the laughing scene when he officially became a guardian. So, like, it makes
Choco.
Chupa Choco. So it makes a little bit of sense here. But it's definitely the biggest glaring flaw that, like, she never said anything in the Romance Lake and she didn't say his name here. It just kind of, like, it doesn't quite work.
I just stabbed the motherfucker out of myself. Ow.
Don't do that.
Why did you do that?
Not on purpose. So there's some broken glass near me. Because I broke a cup yesterday, but then had to run out the door because I was late and I haven't cleaned it up yet.
Jesus Christ.
I was moving my hand over in that direction to grab something else. And an extremely thin sliver of glass went whoop, and I pulled it out, but now it's bleeding.
Go take care of that. I'm getting sympathy pains.
It's fine. I'll be fine. I'm sucking on it.
Okay. If Maddie dies today, this will be the best episode of RPG Book Club ever.
I hope she's recorded a goodbye message for us.
On this episode, one of these podcast hosts will die. If I die, it's because I didn't fucking vote for Dragon Quest V. Anyway, so we continue on, and we arrive at the location that is clearly the location of the opening cutscene. We can tell because of the colors.
And because everyone has decided to stack their weapons in a pile.
Yeah, so you finally get there, you see the weapons in a pile, you see everyone sitting around the fire, and you're like, oh shit, we're finally here. So then it repeats the entire opening cutscene.
Beat by beat.
Yeah, beat
word
by beat.
Word.
And
I've seen it 3 times now.
I've seen it 1,000,000 times now. At this point, it's interesting because now you know who all these people are, and you know what the fuck that weird ball is. Mm-hmm. And you know why Tidus puts his hand on Yuna's shoulder, and why everyone looks so sad. Then he says, listen to my story, this may be our last chance. And you're like, who's he saying that to? I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's still a little non-diegetic, but after that point, instead of it saying Final Fantasy X and then going to the flashback, the screen turns white, and then we see, finally we are past that. And what happens next? It is now nighttime. Turns out, the reason he says listen to my story is because they start sharing their stories around the fire. You don't see that. You just see the end. Goku's like, oh, remember that one time? And remember that one time? Probably like, remember that one time I was fucking stupid? But then he's got all this energy. He's like, let's go, let's keep sharing stories. And Yuna's like, I think we should just stop. I think we're done. I think she's like, at this point I'm just getting sad. We should stop doing this and just go. I just need to go die already.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And then it does my favorite thing in games, where during this cutscene, a really beautiful piece of music, which would be more beautiful if it wasn't on the literal title screen of the Final Fantasy X/X-2 collection menu screen. It is, which is too bad, because if it wasn't on that menu screen, you would have not heard this song yet. But anyway,
when it was happening, I was like, I know this. Where is it from? And I'm like, and so then I exited my game, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah, it's literally from the like pick which game you want to play compilation title, the start screen. So that's what they decided to use. Which it's a great song, but also it's like kind of kills the moment. Anyway,
well, for me, it didn't kill the moment. It like felt like a leitmotif at that point, and so instead of being just like a out of nowhere thing, it was just like, okay, now it's like full circle. I started the game, this is the first thing I listened to, and now I'm at the big thing. So
also,
it worked
frankly, putting that theme at the title screen of the game does mean you hear it a lot more often, which means that, yeah, like, it's hard to pick up on a leitmotif if you hear it a couple times in a game.
Yeah.
If you hear it every time you start the game, then every time an arrangement shows up in the middle of the game, you're like, oh yeah, it's that song.
Mm-hmm. Like,
it's easier to pick up.
Like in Xenogears, when the first track happened, and you're like, pay attention to this leitmotif. It doesn't come up again until we get to the Tower of Babel, and I had forgotten it because like I skipped the one at the very beginning. I didn't get to the part where there was actually music in it, so like I had never heard it for like 30 hours. This one, because it's there, you hear it constantly.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
the first song you hear when you open Undertale is like the theme you hear throughout the entirety of the game.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I love that.
So anyway, the music swells, and it does that thing that TV Tropes calls the BGM, background music override, where this music now is going to play through the entire dungeon, whether you're in a battle or whether you're doing anything. It's a version of Suteki Dane, which is Yuna's theme. It also...
Suteki Dane. Sorry.
It'd be Steki, actually.
It's funny, Suteki is really how the singer sings it, but that's because she's singing it.
Well, yeah, when you sing it, you pronounce all the syllables, like, fully.
Gotcha.
Unless it's you're singing really quickly, but...
Right.
Yeah, it would be Steki.
Gotcha.
So, actually, just as a aside, I don't know if either of us are right, but my Japanese teacher implied that Su at the beginning doesn't swallow the U like it does in a lot of other places.
I've always heard it as Steki.
I don't know. That's why I was saying it Suteki Dane, because like that of what she said. I'm not Japanese. I don't fucking know shit.
Yeah, I'm just going by. I'm just going by what I've heard. We're all correcting each other. We're all jerks. I'm sorry.
And none of us are.
All we know is
none of us are right.
I was wrong. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been taught Japanese by anybody anytime. So there we go. Anyway, the music's nice. And you all just go through the damn Zanarkand dungeon. You make way through the ruins. There's a cool zooming camera shot where you see the long road ahead of you. You realize, oh, this is the same road that Goku and Auron ran on at the beginning of the game. We're literally at the exact same place. And then you're back at the Blitzball Stadium from the beginning of the game. This is the source of everything. I'll just repeat my Twitter joke. This is the source of all the ideology. Time to go kill all the dead labor. A person shows up. What? There's a person? I thought there was nobody here. Oh, he's a ghost. He's all like, because everyone's a ghost. He's like, welcome to the place. Congratulations on winning at religion. Lady Unalesca welcomes you. You go inside the stadium. The camera, once you get inside the stadium, and I feel like this might be actually for thematic reasons, as soon as you get inside the stadium, the camera work just gets really fucking stupid.
It gets so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
When I was playing it late at night, like live tweeting at Maddie, I was like, this Steadicam operator needs to fucking chill.
And like, this game's got a lot of interesting, by interesting I mean mostly bad, but also sometimes good and interesting directorial decisions. But like, it specifically becomes this way as soon as you get in the stadium. So I think they're trying to maybe portray that like everything is very wibbly wobbly weird here. Because apparently there's memories and visions of other summoners and guardians. Auron says that this place is full of fireflies and magic energy, so the dome of the stadium is like a giant sphere. So memories and thoughts are just going to bounce around forever. So I think everyone is like feeling very weird here, and the air is very heavy, and that also might be why the camera is stupid. Yeah. They have another vision of Braska's party. Jecht says Braska doesn't have to do it. Auron also says Braska doesn't have to do it. But Auron especially is like, no, I'm actually trying to get you to stop. Jecht is like, I know you're going to do it anyway, but just so you know, I don't want you to do it. Anyway, we're finally here at the Hall of the Mountain King. I mean, Hall of the Final Summoning. Oh, right. I just skipped through an entire trial, which is boring and stupid.
You find Tetris on the floor. It was a really cool puzzle. I wish it would have been an earlier one because I didn't want I wanted to like spend time on it, and I didn't want to spend time right there and like the lead up. It really felt like when we were escaping from the other one, it's like now you have to do the trial in reverse on your way out. It's like, no, I don't have to do any of this. You're making me do this.
Fuck you. You could have just not. But the characters even comment on it. They're like, even here we have to do a trial. After you finish the trial, you have to fight what many people to consider to be a pretty tough boss, but I think all three of us beat it on our first try.
No, it took me 3.
Oh, that's right. Sam had a lot of trouble.
I sort of had trouble because I didn't... This was what I was talking about earlier. I didn't understand what the guide meant by having them all separated, because I was like, they're on separate platforms. Of course they're separated. Oh god, it hit all 3 of them. Okay, let me restart my game. And I'll do this over. So that way I'm not spending all this time trying to do this boss fight and then failing at it.
Speaking of which, just to back up for like half a second. So you're doing this trial, right? And you push in the final thingy, and instead of like one of the pedestals comes out, a save sphere comes out. I'm like, fuck, there's a boss here.
Yeah,
because also there's no random battles there. So like, if I was underprepared, I would have like been soft locked, and it would have sucked. Because
no, you can actually walk right the fuck out. You
can walk out. You normally can't in those. So I thought.
Yeah, in this case, you can just walk back out.
Okay.
So which is good. So at any rate, this game never soft locks you, which is cool.
That's good.
As far as I can tell, like there's places where I'm like, no, they literally just added this cutscene so that I could have to do some random battles for a second.
Yeah.
So at any rate, the way this boss works is you have 6 different hexagons around the boss, and you get to move your characters around. What's interesting about him is he's hyper unaggressive. By far, his most powerful move is if you attack him, he does a counterattack, and the counterattack hits the 3 hexes that are in front of him. So there's 3 in front and 3 behind, because he has like a wide area arc attack. And that does batshit damage. Everything else he does is bullshit.
Yeah.
So you have to play super defensive, basically. Like, yeah, you're constantly taking hits and not responding, but like, you got to move out of the way first. So first you move all 3 of your characters behind him so that there's no one in front of him, and then you hit him. And then you repeat, rinse and repeat. It's a pretty fun battle.
He also has an attack that causes you to go berserk. Thankfully, the character that I cared about in that fight, which was Auron, because he does a ton of damage, had a berserk ward piece of armor. Yeah, I couldn't find berserk ward for anyone else, but at least Auron had it.
Yeah, and that is nasty because, again, the way this game works is, this battle works is, you don't always want to be attacking. You want to make sure you are prepared before you attack. So having someone who's berserk, if y'all listeners don't remember, berserk means you can't control your character and they just attack. It actually raises their attack levels. Yeah. But you can't control them. So Auron's like, I'm going to attack him. And it's like, no, don't attack him. Oh, you did. Oh, now he's counterattacking.
Yeah.
And now we're all dead.
Okay. Now we're all dead. Yeah, so you got to be quick on that, Esuna. Anyway, you beat him. And then we go down to the Hall of the Mountain King.
As an aside, that battle is set up like the entire battle system for Wild Arms 5, which makes me really want to play Wild Arms 5, because also Tim Rogers says it's one of the best, most literature-esque games that he's played, which makes it sound awesome. But it's not digital anywhere, and it's a $200 disc, so not going to play that on the podcast.
It costs that much nowadays? God damn.
Because Wild Arms died a slow and painful death, and so they're like, what if we made it good, actually? But 4 had changed so much stuff that nobody wanted it
cared anymore.
And so 5 came out to crickets, and because it's good, no one's selling it, and because it didn't sell, there aren't that many copies out there.
Yeah. Okay, quick aside. God bless Square for like literally reprinting PS1 games for like 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
I think the last reprint of FF7 was just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Like, good on, like, even though they're doing all the digital shit and milking it by putting it on every platform, they also do reprints of the PS1 discs. And, like, that's cool as hell.
Yeah,
every company
that's
should
really
be,
nice.
not every company, but a lot of companies should be doing that.
When I was in college, I went to the special effects there at the mall, and I was like, you know what? I really want to play Chrono Cross. Like, I'll take the hit. Like, how much is Chrono Cross going to be? I know it's like a cult hit, so it's probably expensive. And he goes, no, it's at MSRP. It's $14.99 because it was still in print, and he had a brand new greatest hits copy off the shelf for me. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it rules. The only people who don't like that, of course, are the collectors who were like, but my collector value of my game now it's dropping because people printed so many copies, they reprinted. I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
That's why, like, if you look on eBay or whatever, it'll be like Final Fantasy 7. $6, I guess, and then they'll be like Final Fantasy 7 with the black label, $200, because the collectors.
Yeah, luckily the black label ones still have their value.
Yeah, the collectors had to make something up for them to say that it was worth something.
Yeah.
I get it. Having a black label is like, it's like, you know, you got the game before it was cool.
Yeah,
before it was the greatest hit. Anyway, so now we find out a bunch more plot. The old ghost just shows up again. He says that there is no final Aeon. We thought we were going to go through, do the trial, and get the final Aeon. And the Aeon, if you recall, is a faith that is tied up and locked up in a stone or whatever. And then that person turns into, like, Bahamut or whatever. Turns out that the faith in this case was, the final Aeon was Zayon, which is dumb. The faith was Zayon, who was, if you recall, the boyfriend of Unalesca, the first summoner. But apparently he got summoned so many times that basically his soul got all used up and is now gone. Waka is... They don't belabor this point, but I think Waka here is freaked out at the idea that someone's soul could actually, be destroyed.
Yeah.
The soul can in fact be impermanent. He suffered double ghost death. The party asked Auron if he knew this all along. He did. Now you meet Unalesca. She's really hot and very scantily clad.
I love her.
She's Linus 2.0.
She rules. She says that you are the furthest ever at religion because you are the best at religion. She says that we're going to give you the final Aeon. First, you must choose one of your party members to die to become the summoning. So, yeah, it turns out not only does the summoner die, but one of the summoner's guardians also has to die. The summoner's guardian actually becomes the final Aeon.
Because it's like, oh, well, Yuna knows black magic and also all these summons. Why does she need guardians? And the popes were just like, so you can kill one of them. That's why it's set up this way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So imagine if Isharu was here instead of Yuna, and he had to choose one of his little brothers to die.
No.
Oh, God, that would be awful.
Or if Donna showed up with just Bartello.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, shit.
He'd be like, yeah, sure. He'd be like, yeah, sure, step on me.
Yeah, he would totally go for it, but she'd be like, but then I can't fuck you anymore.
Well, she'll be dead anyway. They can fuck in the afterlife.
That's true.
There is no afterlife. Religion is fake. We just found that out, remember?
So there's nothing to fear, though, because death is good, actually, remember? We see some backflashes about Braska, Aaron.
We skipped a bit. So... and this just clicked for me, and that's why I realized that we skipped a bit. One of the things we see is that Seymour completed his pilgrimage when he was like 7, and his mom was his guardian. So he got this far, decided no, and turned around. So he knows all of the fakiness just turned away.
Yeah.
And
I was
so
going to bring that up as a memorable moment.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when Unalesca was like, "There's nothing to fear because death is good," that's where Seymour got it from.
Yeah,
and so Seymour then took a religious truth and then twisted it to become Hitler because that's what happens.
Yeah, I actually was trying to scrub earlier the Let's Play for that Seymour scene, but it was so short I couldn't find it. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
Yeah, I just remembered it because I made the joke here in the notes about the callback to Seymour, and I'm like, wait, it all makes sense.
So anyway, we see some backflashes about Braska, Aaron, and Jecht. They were also very upset about this. But Jecht is like, whatever, I'll do it. I'll be the Aeon. Sam's notes say, thinking emoji.
If Jecht is the final Aeon and Jecht is Sin, thinking emoji.
Yeah. Jecht says he knows there's no way home. All he wanted was to teach his idiot kid to be good at sports, but he can't, so I have to do what I can to help. Aaron is like, past Aaron, is like, Sin comes back every time, don't die for nothing, and Braska says, very Titus-esque, maybe I'll get lucky, maybe I'll figure something out this time. And actually, I think he literally says, like, maybe I'll figure something out. And then it flashes
I think he says, maybe this time it won't.
And then it flashes to the present, and Goku says, like, the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe we can figure something out. So he's being just like his old man.
He throws a great tantrum right here, because everyone's just like, yeah, but like, you can always get what you want, and like, everything's going to be bad no matter what. You just have to take what happens. And he goes, no, I want this to be good. I said it's going to be good. I want everything. There are no bad parts to this plan. Everything is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Basically, they're trying to decide whether to do it or not do it. So they're all fucked up because, like, they had decided in their hearts to that sacrificing one person for the common good was okay. Now all of a sudden that it's 2 people, they're just like reevaluating the entire situation. They're just like, I get the feeling that every single summoner goes through this conversation.
Yeah.
And this is probably why a lot of summoners turn back.
Yeah.
But they all go through with it or turn back.
Like, building off the revelation I just had, Unalesca asked a 7-year-old boy to kill his mom. Of course he's going to say no and go home. Like, what the heck, man?
Except he was Seymour, so...
I mean, yeah. So he probably like, stabbed his mom, and she was like, no, she has to become... God dang it, go home.
So basically he's like, this is bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Why don't we just go talk to Unalesca and ask her what the fucking deal is? Like, ask her why it has to be... Because Unalesca doesn't really have a conversation. She just shows up, tells you how it is, and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, let's go fucking talk to her. And then he says a really weird line. He says, this is my story. It'll go the way I want it, or I'll end it here. And I'm like, Goku, it's not your story.
It's not. Yeah, I was saying the same thing. I was like, no, it's Yuna's.
Yuna's tired of his shit. She reminds Goku that he's not the main character of the game. And that what's happened next is her decision. I agree with Yuna here. But I actually read this time around Goku's "This is my storyline" a little bit differently. He's not saying, when he says this, he doesn't mean this whole situation, all of your lives, is my story. I think what he means is, this decision I'm making is my story. We all have our own story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think he's saying Final Fantasy X is my story. I think he's saying, no. Like, I think in this moment, he is remembering that he's a double dream ghost self or whatever, and he's like, I have an ace up my sleeve. I'm going to do something. This is what I'm here for, is to save everybody.
Yes, exactly. When they say story, I think what they mean, it's more like duty. Like, Yuna's story is to do this. And he's realizing finally what his story actually is. Mm-hmm. His story is not the main story of the game, but his story is something. He has a role to play. So he's realizing what his story is, but he's also throwing a temper tantrum. So anyway, you follow Unaleska into space. We're just in fucking outer space because it's a Japanese role-playing game. Those sandblasted grease monkeys with their underground Machina observatories.
I made you have the heated gaming moment. It's great. If I write the notes, I can make you say whatever I want.
Oh no! I have to say whatever's on the teleprompter. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Go fuck yourself, Spira. Unaleska asks who will be the Faith. She's like, "All right, did you decide?" She's very clinical about all this. You know, there's no drama. She's just like, all right, you're here. Let's get this over with. Let's do it. Get on the operating table. Let's go. She goes, who's it going to be? Yuna says, will Sin always come back? And Unaleska says, yes, always. The Aeon that kills Sin becomes the new Sin. This is the perfect solution to having zero sin. That's how it works. Waka and Lulu are like, but if we atone for our sin will eventually go away. And Unaleska's like, no, it's not. It's not how it is.
You can't trust humanity to do that, so...
Yeah, actually, she actually doesn't say it's a lie. She actually says,
So what she says, because I had it in the thing. So it's a good, like, interpretation or thing, which we said at the beginning. We would talk about how it makes us feel, so I should probably follow through on that. So what she says is, scrolling down, there's a lot of shit with past Orin that we skipped. So she says, sin is eternal. Every aeon that defeats it becomes sin in its place, and thus sin is reborn. Sin is an inevitable part of the spirit's destiny. It's never ending. And Waka's like, but if we atone for our crimes, sin will stop coming back. And she goes, but will humanity ever attain such purity? Yeah. And Yuna is like, the teachings say that we can exercise sin with completed atonement. It's been our only hope all of these years. And she goes, hope is comforting. It allows us to accept our fate, however tragic it may be. So that second line is where I was like, she's like, it's a lie that can happen because it's all just a false hope. But she does. I completely missed the part where she was like, yeah, but humanity sucks, y'all.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's like she's kind of saying both, basically. Like, well, she's beating around the bush. Like, she's just not really saying it. So, at first they're like, we can atone. And she's like, yeah, but you'll never atone because humanity sucks. Mm-hmm. And then they push her farther, and she's like, okay, actually, you're not going to atone because that's not how it works. Yeah. And then, she says, sin will never go away, but this whole ritual gives people hope and makes people happy. All right, who's it going to be? And then Yuna makes her big decision. She says, no one. She says, I was willing to give my life, but I would give my life for my friends. But now that I know that my friends have to die too, and also I know that it's all fake, no, not doing it. The final summoning is a false tradition that should be thrown away. And Unaleska says, your father did this. Why don't you? And she says, my father wanted to make Spirit of Sorrow go away, not just covered up with lies. I love my father, so I'm going to honor my father by living my own life. I'm going to go my own direction. She gives the best, like, a fucking amazing anime speech. She says she will defeat sorrow. She will be strong. She doesn't know when it will be, but one day she will conquer sorrow, and she'll do it without false hope. And Unaleska says, all right, I'm going to be a boss now and kill you.
Yeah.
She says it's better to die in hope than live in despair. And then the Aaron, there's a lot of really, really absolutely insane filmmaking here where the camera is shaking so fast that it like blurs the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And also there's like a weird a sound effect whenever the camera shakes, which I think is again like her magic energy, and like this is like it's sort of like a fighting god situation. So just like everything's just going insane.
They really hyped up. Like, if we didn't have to plan out how many episodes we had, we definitely would have thought this was the final boss of the game. Because,
it's a shame that y'all had to know that this wasn't the final boss of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
like,
not.
This is when you're fighting Nick's avatar and all of your not Nick's avatar, the actual Nick's, and all of your friends are just like, "No, I love you. Remember our social link?" Like that's what the scene is with all the crazy cameras. Everyone says I'm fighting for reason X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to kill this naked lady.
Everyone has their badass line, but Riku is just like, and I'm here. I forget what she says, but it is pretty much just like, yeah, guys, like that. Arendt has a great line. He's like, now is the time. Will you die and be free of pain, or will you stand your ground and fight your sorrow, or something like that? Arendt's always got the good lines. You have a 3-stage boss fight. It's very, very, very weird.
Like it's hard, except it gives you a cheat code automatically to make it not hard at all. So it's like,
wait, what's the cheat code?
She puts you in zombie, and then her big fuck you move is an instant kill, which zombies are immune to.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want to leave yourself in zombie, and then just have enough holy waters to get out of zombie to heal yourself, and then the next turn she'll put you back in zombie, and then just...
Yeah, so that's the trick. She puts you in zombie, and then she follows up putting you in zombie with Curaga. But she does Curaga on you, which does mondo damage if you're in zombie. So your immediate thought is, I want to not be in zombie. But if you're not in zombie, she has an insta-kill move that will kill anyone not in zombie. She also likes to hit you with poison. It's just a strange fight. None of your normal strategies work. If she hits you, you can't just heal. You have to think about what you're doing because there's really no way to heal. The easiest thing to do, frankly, is just to let someone die and then revive them. Because healing, you got to use so many turns. First, you got to unzombie them. Then you got to hope she doesn't re-zombie them in the next turn. Then you have to heal them. Then you have to hope that she doesn't insta-kill them in the next turn. Another thing you can do is put reflect on everyone, because then she can't...
Curaga.
She can't Curaga you, but then you also can't Curaga. There's a lot.
But it's
there's
great
a lot
because...
of layers.
For the last 30 hours, Yuna has had badass spells, so I have not touched a potion for the past 30 hours. So that was fine. I was like, I can't heal with magic, so let me just use all these high potions that I've just been stealing from every single monster.
The potions also hurt you if you're in zombie.
Yeah, but I have Haste Riku. So Haste Riku 1 will go and unzombie the person. Haste Riku 2 will do the healing, and then more than likely the next thing they do is the re-zombie move.
Also, the battle seems to have had a new feature that seemed to break the game's mechanics. Whenever she zombies someone, it seems to also dark them.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, if you point at them with your cursor, it doesn't say they're dark.
I think it's just the effect from zombie. It looks like dark.
No, but it also was making me miss, like, everything.
Really? Because I didn't have that problem.
Well, no, it was making me miss spells. Yuna couldn't Asuna. Fucking anybody.
Well, I think because Asuna doesn't work on zombies.
Did you have... Yeah, Asuna, I don't think is... Asuna is just normal. Zombie is like a special class of stuff.
Because it didn't work on Curse either.
Yeah.
Because I got cursed by... That was right. I ended up fucking up the dragon with the photon wings and got cursed, and I tried using Asuna, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh. It kills all status effects.
You specifically need holy water for that.
Yeah, so...
which I had 4 of.
Frog, Curse, and Zombie are special. They're not Asunable. So they take their own thing.
Do any of y'all actually have Holy?
I had Oh no, not Holy.
No.
Holy would have wrecked this fight.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Holy is near the end of Yuna's sphere grid.
Yeah,
and
it's the last bit on the standards grid.
I had taken way too many detours to do things like, I don't know, teach Yuna the Aura spells.
Yeah.
So because I had taken way too many detours with Yuna, I was not even close to getting Holy. That would have made the battle way the fuck easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very, very weird, hard. Just like Yuna is throwing your conceptions about the world upside down. The battle is also not a normal battle. It's a weird upside down battle.
Yeah.
Anyway, you kill her.
One thing I want to say about my time through it. So the last phase, she has a instinct. She has a curse move that she uses only on your Aeons, which then makes them like not good. But the middle phase, she doesn't have that yet. So I summoned Shiva, who is immune to zombie, who is immune to insta kill, and Curaga would just cure her. So she was just like hitting me for piddly damage unless she did her absorb, which was like a dimmy. It always did half your HP. So I would just use Blizzard to make sure that I stayed above half HP and then absorbed all the damage to have then my summon. So then I did Diamond Dust like 7 times to just cakewalk through the middle phase. It felt so cool. I was like, I earned this. Like I'm breaking the game in a way that like is valid, and it felt cool. I didn't just level up 10 extra times. I was like I was engaging with the mechanics to break the game, which is dope.
No, it's nice. So you kill her, and everyone's like, I can't believe we just did that. Before she dies, she says, "You just killed Spira's hope. Now there's no way to kill Sin." Tidus is like, "We'll find a new hope. I'm Goku." Yunalesca says something about Yu Yevon. We've never heard that term before. Yu Yevon. She says that Yu Yevon would just make Sin again, even if they do kill it. So yeah, maybe that's the real bad guy. Yunalesca dies, and she says she reminisces some shit about Zayon. Who cares? And Yuna's like, I can't believe we did that. We killed the Pope. We killed Jesus /God /Virgin Mary /Mary Magdalene. We're just killing we're just murdering all the popes. Tidus is like, we're just getting started. Let's do something even more crazy. Somehow, let's figure it out. And is that where we all saved?
That's where Eli.
Yeah, that's
Eli
where
saved.
I saved.
That's what I mean. So there's one more scene, but is that scene after the save point?
Yeah. The save point.
With Aaron?
Yeah, the scene is right outside of, or the save point is right outside of her room.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. We kill the fuck out of Yunalesca. Pilgrimage over. Now we have to find some way to just murder Sin, normal style, as I would say. We were doing it religious style. Now we're just gonna level up a bunch and kick its ass.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. No one else ever tried leveling up. No, there is more to it than that, as we'll see. You can't just level up and kill kick its ass, but that's basically what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So that is it for the week. We got through a lot, but just so you know, next time is not very much. It is 1 or 2 plot scenes where you go and you do this, you go and you do that, and then you go to the final dungeon. It's kind of like Lavos in Chrono Trigger, where you just
stop. Just say, stop those words.
Forget everything I just said. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay. You got out of jail free with just saying a word. So wait, it's one of the coolest like things in video games. And
you're right.
I really think that because you love Final Fantasy VI, Eli, you will love the shit out of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I forgot that the statute of limitations doesn't really apply to Chrono Trigger because like it's not so famous that literally everyone's actually played it.
Everyone
knows about it. It's not on any digital platforms.
I would not want to spoil it.
It's on the PS3/Vita. It's on.
It's not on any digital platforms I own.
The ones that. Well, it's on PC, but that version sucks, so don't play it.
Actually, they unsucked a lot of it on
It still
PC.
sucks.
It still sucks, but the graphics don't suck. So at least there's
The UI
that.
still sucks.
The UI still sucks. I hate when they HD a SNES game, even though it works for Dragon Quest on mobile. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me there, but every other time it's always bothering me.
I don't know. It's because they applied some aesthetics to the graphic design. I don't know.
I guess.
Pixel art is just so charming to me.
Yeah. Hot take just for Eli. I just or anyone listening. Yeah, if you're gonna play Chrono Trigger, I normally don't support emulation, but just emulate the original. It's the best version.
Yeah.
Some people say the DS version, and I guess I can get behind that. That's
What
fine.
I'll probably do is buy it on Steam or wherever it is on PC, and then just emulate it.
Yeah.
Because then I won't feel bad about it.
Yeah, give them your money, but then don't actually buy the thing that you play the thing that you bought because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So sorry, didn't mean to accidentally almost spoil Chrono Trigger. You just gotta go. You just gotta go beat the bad guy. FYI, if you go like 5 more minutes from this point, you do slight spoiler, get your airship back. You can actually fly it around this time. Not actually fly it around. You pick things from a menu. It's kind of lame, but there's a bunch of side quests and stuff. So if you want to play the game a whole bunch on, you're gonna want to play about 5 more minutes, and then you can get to that point.
Yeah.
FYI. There's a little bit of fast travel. You can warp from any save point to the airship, but you cannot warp from the airship to any save point.
Yeah.
You can warp from the airship to specific locations, and then from there you have to run to wherever you want to be. Yeah. It's not just like, you can warp between save points at will now. That's not really a thing.
Should be, but it's not.
It should be. It totally should be, because there's so much running in this game. So yeah, there's all sorts of fun side quests. There's a lot of super duper hard side quests that add to the International Edition that are unlocked as of now. If you go back to basically any area you've already been, you're going to see a Dark Aeon battle, and it's going to do 10 billion damage to your party and kill you instantly. So don't even try. If you want to get some really good equipment but don't want to figure it out yourself, use a guide. There's a couple really, really good swords and shit you can get like right now. So that's my advice for y'all. If you just want to go and kick Synth's ass, I would say still first check out a guide, because there's some very, very low effort things you can do that will beef up your party. On the other hand, if you could get past Seymour on the mountain and you can get past Unalesca, you can probably beat the game. Most fans do not consider the game's final boss to be super hard. I actually, when I was a kid, thought it was stupid hard. I thought it was the hardest boss in the game. I thought I had more trouble with it than with Unalesca or Seymour, but that's not the common opinion. So,
noted. But we don't have to deal with that this week. We always stop before the final boss. I say always. We decided this 2 games ago. But,
right. I'm just telling the listeners whether or not they're going to want to prepare.
Yeah.
Also, FYI, I'm almost positive. Look this up if you want to, just to see that I'm not lying. But I'm pretty sure there is no point of no return in this game.
Nice.
Cool.
You can be at the final save point before the final bosses, and you can yeet yourself all the way back out of that dungeon and get back on your airship.
Nice.
Excellent.
Perfect. But let's do some memorable mementos. It's great that I started this game gushing about a hallway, and here we are at the end of this game gushing about a hallway.
I love this hallway.
So right when you're entering into Zanarkand, it's not like the hallway that I gushed in episode 1 is the hallway where there's like battles and shit. But before that, there's this long just like bridge with
before you get back to the opening scene of the game.
Yeah,
before that.
So there's this big long bridge, and they have like a pre-rendered Zanarkand for the skybox, so that the camera can just wildly like zoom around you as you walk across this bridge. And there's no battles, there's no anything. It really feels just like you've arrived and you've accomplished this. And so now the only thing there is to do is to go into Zanarkand and fuck some shit up. And so you just walk down this hallway, and it's crazy long. Like I had my ×4 speed on because I'm a cheater and I cheated not only with the game but myself, etc., etc. And it still took like 5 or 6 seconds. You can't
tell the difference.
I spent like 5 or 6 seconds walking down it, so I'm sure it's like a 30-second just walking down this beautiful hallway with camera moves, and it's good.
Isn't there not even music here, or is there like ambient music?
I can't remember if there's music there. So, like, if there is, it's invisible music just to add to the everything,
yeah.
and it's good. But another thing that I love, and this is kind of a doozy, so I won't go into all of it. I'll do a lot more of it in the final episode where we have a lot, is that this game is a sad game because it is about sadness, but it doesn't have sad parts. Like, there's not a party character death, except for 2 of our party characters don't exist, so like maybe those count. But there's not like a party character death. There's not like a Lavitz sadness. There's not, oh, we found out like why Rose is so sad all the time because of Zieg. There's like nothing like that in this game, but the game is sad, and it's cool because we're having a happy, fun RPG time while everything about it still feels sad. And that's kind of the theme of the game, because Yuna literally says as much back in the laughing scene, which then means that the laughing scene is the most important scene of the game and everyone else just gets it wrong, because she's like, the world freaking sucks, but we deserve to laugh and laugh through it and have happiness even though the world is shitty. And this, like, it dawned on me so much in this part because of Yuna's whole sad everything, and it was good.
Yeah, there's a heaviness to everything. There's an obvious weight that the characters are feeling during their entire journey, except for Tidus, because he doesn't know better.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, fun fact, after all this shit happens and they're like, okay, time to go and just defeat Sin now, you can play Blitzball again.
Yeah. My only other one that we didn't bring up is technically one we didn't get to, but it's no big deal. When you're on the airship there when we saved, everyone's like, what do we do? Oren says, we sit and we wait. And Tidus goes, that's 2 things I'm bad at.
Speaking of sitting, one that I have, I'm skipping 1 or 2 of mine, but one of the ones I have is during the big like dream sequence, there's a part where the kid says something like says something like dramatic, and then the kid clearly is about to continue like dropping lore. And I feel like Tidus knows that the kid is about to drop lore because he literally just sits down on the floor, cross-legged. He's like, oh, is it story time? I'm going to sit down. And then that happens again. After he wakes up and he's like, they're all like, oh, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, guys. And then they talk for like a few more lines. And while they're talking, he fucking sits on the ground. And I'm like, that's just a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
It's just like, time to sit on the ground. That's also kind of low-key something I do.
Yeah.
If there's not a chair around. Some people, if they're in a public situation and there's not a chair, they will stand. If there's no chair and I want to sit, I'll just sit on the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a weird thing to do, but a lot of people do.
I do that as well.
Does it. It's hilarious.
What I love about the one when he wakes up is like it almost feels like they didn't have a sit up from laying down animation, because he's laying down because he's knocked out, and they're like, Tidus, wake up, and he stands all the way up and then sits his ass right back down, and it's just it's so weird.
It's like a sim.
Yes. Yeah. Other things I love, anytime there's an FMV, Yuna has amazing lipstick.
Yeah, she does.
It's very well applied. It's a great color. Also, she must do usually good foundation, too, because they combine very well. Final thing is Goku has a really good... when he has that little monologue earlier, when he first sees Zanarkand for the first time in his journey, he says, and I'll just quote it, he says, a city... Of course, he says it in his Bob Saget voice. He goes, a city dead for 1,000 years. A city I had to see with my own eyes. The end of Yuna's journey. The last chapter in my story. My thoughts kept floating up and then slipping through my fingers, slipping away before I could pin them down with words. And then, like, someone interrupts his monologuing and says, I think Riku says something to interrupt his monologuing. So, it's good. It's good. I don't know why Goku talks like that in his head, but he sure does. Maybe he should be like a very schmaltzy, like, like pot boiler, like noir writer or something. I don't know. I like how he calls it the last chapter. He says the end of Yuna's journey and the last chapter in his story. So that also adds to the whole like, yeah, no, he's differentiating his story from everyone else's story. Mm-hmm. He's like, their story will continue. My story ends here because I'm a fake dude.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. What about you, Eli? Did you have some more?
I mean, like I mentioned, I really liked the Seymour bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I thought it really added something to his character and said a lot about who he is as a person. Mm-hmm. I think it's terrible that, first of all, that a 7-year-old child was going through the pilgrimage. Holy shit!
Seriously.
He may not have been 7, but he was obviously very, very young.
No wonder he hated his dad.
Yeah,
right?
For real.
Did his dad make him do it?
He was there with his mom. Like, his dad wasn't there. His dad was still just being Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. Did the dad be like, "Hey, kid, go"? Maybe he.
That was
okay. Maybe his kid sucked, and he's like, "Go kill yourself to save the world."
I mean, maybe, but I mean, my thought is, I'm a maester and I'm amazing, and like he was the leader of the Guidos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, you're my son, and as a future leader of the Guidos, you need to do us proud and go fight sin. And, like I think that I agree with what you said about, this may be why he hated his dad, getting sent off like that, and with his mother, and then being told, you gotta kill your mom.
Yeah.
Little kid.
Like it's already so much where it's just like, hey, I need you to go commit suicide to save the world. And he's like, okay, it's hard, but I can wrap my head around that. And it's like, and then you also have to kill your mom. And he's like, no, I was saving my mom. Like,
yeah.
I can't, I can't do that.
Like,
thing I just thought of, prediction. Mm-hmm. Perhaps another reason why this shit is special, because remember, the big twist we learned here is that sin being eject is not a unique thing to happen. It's what happens every single time.
Yeah.
Just no one knew about it, I guess, because the only people who know about it die or become sin. Or don't tell anyone because they want to preserve the lie or something like that. But Jekt is not a real person.
Right.
Jekt is a fake dude. So maybe this sin is uniquely able to be killed because... Okay, this is a little bit of a spoiler for next time. Sin is like a giant armor protecting what's inside, the core of sin. Okay. And maybe the armor is weaker this time because it's a dream. It's a fake person. It's maybe not a real monster, even though it looks the same. Instead of making a monster out of a real person, you made a monster out of a fake dream. So if the fake dream stops happening, then the monster disappears and doesn't come back this time.
Yeah.
Have you all seen Puella Magi Madoka Magica?
I have not finished it.
I don't care if you spoil it, because I'm sure it rules, but I don't mind.
I've watched the first 3 episodes so many times because I got to them like, oh my god, this is great. And I went to my friend and I'm like, you have to watch this. And then that chain kept happening. So I've watched the first 3 episodes a million times and never got around to finishing it myself.
Okay. Well, okay, I won't say anything then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
something.
Watch it.
Madoka is God is all I know.
It's only 12 episodes, and you should definitely watch it. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah,
but you're forgetting. I will not watch a television show.
I mean, you watch Twin Peaks. So.
There's no reason. I'm just stupid. Anyway.
So what you should do is you should watch 3 Madoka Magica movies that shouldn't exist because the 3 movies' runtimes is the same amount of runtime as 12 episodes, but they decided to make 3 movies based on it anyways.
Yeah,
so you should watch 3 movies.
2 of the 3 movies are just retellings of the story.
Yeah.
So
that's dumb as hell.
It's so dumb.
They were really trying to milk that cow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are Dunskies for the week. We have 2 episodes left, just as a reminder. So next episode, we're going to be going all the way until the save point right before the final boss or bosses. There are multiple final bosses. I don't know if there's a save point between them or whatever. I'll go ahead and I'll just say it. The save point before you fight you like fight Jecht, basically. One of the final bosses looks like, yeah, I know Sin is Jecht, but like one of the final bosses like looks like Jecht. I don't remember if he's giant or whatever, but like I think the name of the boss might be like Jecht, and it actually plays the song Otherworld from the beginning, the heavy metal song. That's the Jecht fight. So we'll be saving before that, because after that it's a straight shot to the end.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Cool. That actually is after. Actually, I remember now. That is actually after a series of Aeon boss fights, and I'm positive there's a save point between those. So we are actually fighting a little bit of the final boss. We're fighting some Aeons, but we're saving before the Jecht fight.
Cool.
Yep. And then the week after that will be the end of the game, and that will be it. Sam, have we officially announced our special thing?
What special thing?
Oh, the movie that we're going to watch.
Oh, yeah. So, this is mostly just I don't think we're big enough to have movie nights yet, because we've tried for a whole year, and it's been me and Matt on a date, which like is fine, but it's.
And I mean, I can't even go to them because of my dumb work schedule. So.
Yeah. So instead of doing the movie night as just like an event that happens, we're going to individually. You can meet up and watch it with friends. You can sync. Watching like through the Discord or however you want to do it, but we'll the three of us will watch Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, and then as a bonus episode after we do our live episode, we'll release a like book club episode about that movie, and so we'll watch the movie and then talk about it. And between now and like that's 3 weeks from now when we'll have to do it. So just watch it over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then you'll have a bonus episode show up in the feed of us talking about our movie night game.
I'm glad to know about this.
Yeah,
you might have talked about it in Discord, and I just missed it.
Yeah, that's what we did. I figured you had missed it, but like I said, we have 3 weeks, so it's plenty of time.
Don't worry, the movie's not very long, and it owns.
Where can we find it?
It's on Amazon Prime legally. It's everywhere else illegally.
Excellent.
But
I have Amazon Prime, so I'm
Perfect.
looking forward to legally watching it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is a historically important film. FF10 was Square's last big game as Square. It made buco bucks, and then they blew all of it on Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, which made negative buco bucks, and then they lost so much money that they were having trouble financially, and they had to merge with Enix.
Yeah.
And the rest, as they say, is history. And then Sakaguchi left and made Mistwalker. So, yeah, very important juncture in video game history, this movie.
Yeah,
good to know.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Now that's a Final Fantasy VII based movie, isn't it?
No, that's
it is
different.
Completely unrelated to everything, which is probably the reason why it failed so hard.
Okay.
I'll give my
Children, I think, is the one I watched.
Yeah, that's the Final Fantasy VII
I'll give my historical pitch about why Spirits Within failed so hard, despite being a pretty good movie when we actually watch the movie. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's really cool.
That's shopkeeping. That's housekeeping for the week. We're done, skis.
Yeah.
So, if you're liking what you hear, you want to chat with us, please go to our @RPG Book Club. Spoiler alert, it's just Sam.
Yeah.
I think it might be possible that the two of us have access to it. Like Sam would share the credentials with us if we asked. But guess what? I've never asked, and I don't care.
I've logged into it and posted things before, but I
have sent like memes and stuff to my own podcast because I'm actually just sending it to Sam.
Yeah, because I almost never log into mine. So like, unfortunately, Star Wars is a big thing the last couple of weeks, and we haven't really talked about how like super excited me and Maddie are or whatever.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And so like, yeah, we're super stoked. You can tell because I keep forgetting I'm logged into our thing, and I keep retweeting Star Wars stuff. It's not on brand at all, but like, it's Star Wars. Like, come on,
no, dude,
I'm not going to retweet
2019. It. Brands apparently now have feelings and can be excited about things.
Okay, cool. Then
brands can have depression now. Anyway, we also got our email address, rpgbookclub@gmail.com.
Oh,
got
that reminds me. We said we were going to give a shout out to Ace. Let me go to our Gmail. We got a legit actual email.
Oh, that's right. While you're pulling that up, I'll just mention that our Discord has a link in the description. Also, our Patreon will not exist much longer. It's like Titus. It's going to disappear. It is a dream. We also have our Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/RPG Book Club. That's what we're going to do now. If you want to donate to us, please use that website and not Patreon. All right, go on, Sam.
Okay, so we got a real email, and I promised way back in like Rogue Galaxy that I would read the email on the episode. So here I go now. So it says, "Greetings. This is Star Carver Ace. He used to be in our Discord. Actually, that's his sentence, so I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to read his sentence. I was present on your Discord before, but I don't really get the chance to log on there these days. But I still wanted to send you guys some warm greetings because, yes, I'm still an avid listener and a happy patron for the book club. I spend lots of hours at work with my headphones in, so if I'm not listening to a new episode, I'm re-listening to one of your old episodes. I'm currently going through Xenogears again. Hope that doesn't sound weird. It's just great to hear y'all discuss. You guys have definitely heightened my love and appreciation for RPGs and just video games in general. I'm currently playing Persona 5, and every time I get through an arc, I think, what would Sam, Eli, Spiffle, and Izzo say about this? It's just great how you guys appreciate and analyze the technical and emotional elements of the games you play in a really fun way. Thank you for all you do. Looking forward to where the podcast goes in the future."
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Love
Thank you
to
so
have
much.
validation. That rules.
Yeah.
Everything you said is true. We are that awesome. No, I'm just kidding. We have a lot of debates here about, ways to improve the podcast and what's going good, what's going bad. And as human beings, we have anxieties, so it's great to get an email like this.
Yeah, it's dope.
It's
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's great to know that like Ace enjoys it how it is now, because the thought crosses my mind like every week when I see like, oh, we're doing our sellout game and we still are only getting like 30 downloads a week. Should I burn the whole thing to the ground and try a whole different thing? So it's like, no, the people that care a lot, and therefore it's good enough for me.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. Just a reminder, if you do give us money, you can vote for our next game, which again right now is the very contentious Dragon Quest V versus Shining Force. You will also get our/Sam's video series, the JRPG canon, 2 weeks before everybody else, assuming that he remembers when to do that at the correct time.
At least 2 weeks. We'll
and Sam, you are like putting the final touches on the Dragon Quest one, right?
Yeah, I should finish that one by next week. My work week starts tonight, so I get a lot less free time until the weekend. So it should be good, but I hope you like it.
Yeah, if you want to hear Sam's real good thoughts about Dragon Quest, I've read the script, then you should definitely donate. So anyway, we will see y'all next week for RPG Book Club. I've been Maddie Webben.
I've been Sam Allman.
I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
Bye, Dirts.
Bye. Love you.
Awesome.